Urgent warning tonight. This is not a motivational talk. This is an instruction. He's saying, stop. Stop running after the door I closed to protect you. Stop refreshing job boards as if they are altars. Stop rehearsing interviews as if your future depends on the approval of a stranger. This message isn't for everyone. It's for you. The one with sore eyes from scrolling, a tired soul from applying, and a phone that keeps staying silent. I'm interrupting your chase because the door you're sprinting toward is not your door. Hear me. I am not telling you to look for another job. I am telling you to stop chasing doors I already shut. You call it rejection. I call it redirection. You call it delay. I call it deliverance. You call it failure. I call it fathering. I withhold what would wither you. I close what would cage you. I block what would break you. I am not a boss reviewing your resume. I am your source securing your steps. You keep acting like a hunter in a jungle of scarcity, stalking opportunities, baiting interviews, setting traps with perfect resumes and desperate emails. But in this season, you are not the hunter. You are the one being located. Provision is moving toward you. I will not let your destiny be determined by a hiring manager's mood. I am staging a reversal where favor finds you, where unexpected channels open, where money locates you by covenant coordinates, not corporate convenience. Heaven's economy does not run on your hustle. It runs on my word. A job is a channel, not the fountain. A boss is a steward, not a savior. A salary is a tool, not a throne. Earth measures worth in hours. I measure trust in obedience. Earth says, update the resume. Heaven says, update your alignment. Earth says, try harder. Heaven says, listen closer. Earth says, chase outcomes. Heaven says, carry instruction. You've been bowing to human systems as if they are gods. Resume, boss, salary, while ignoring the kingdom flow, obedience, timing, covenant. I am closing panic doors so you can see promise doors. The door you want leads to constant proving. The door I'm sending will anchor you in peace. The silence you fear is the quiet where I am speaking. The no you resent is the mercy keeping you from misplacement. I'm not starving you, I'm starving your slavery. So tonight, release the chase, breathe, put down the frantic search, lay your hand on your heart and hear me. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety, it funds obedience. Do not look for a job, do this instead. Stand still, align, and declare what I say. Type it, say it, seal it. My job is not my source. God is. Because tonight I interrupt your running so that what I sent can finally catch you. The door you're pounding is not your door. The one I'm opening will not require panic to enter, only obedience to see. Let me name the ache you don't post about. The fridge hums, but the shelves echo. You stand with the door open, not because there's something to grab, but because the cold air feels like clarity for a second. Overdue notices stack like little paper voices that shout when the house finally gets quiet. The banking app loads slow as if it's stalling to spare your heart. Dinner becomes whatever stretches the longest. You smile at work, but you rehearse panic in the car. You laugh with friends, but your chest tightens in grocery aisles while you count in your head. Night falls and the spiral starts. Calculator, comparisons, application after application, and the same silence staring back. You try to pray, but your mind keeps autofilling with numbers you can't move. You're tired. Tired of running. Tired of trying. Tired of begging for opportunities that pretend not to see you. Tired of being the strong one. Tired of performing. Tired of pretending I'm fine when your voice cracks on the eye. Tired of waking up early to hustle and lying awake late to worry. Work, worry, repeat, effort, email, refresh, smile, shake, sink. When bills get loud, faith gets quiet. It feels quiet, not because I'm far, but because the noise in your head has turned the volume up on fear and down on my word. Let me expose the hidden loop that's been draining you. You started believing your value equals your paycheck. You judged your timeline by someone else's highlight reel. Her promotion, his new house, their vacation, their "we're expecting," and your "maybe next year." You called yourself behind because the numbers didn't applaud you yet. You tied your identity to a number that changes by the hour, then wondered why your peace evaporates just as fast. Rejection letter? You translated it into "I am not enough." Delay? You baptized it as "I am late." You made a boss your judge and a budget your mirror, and neither one knows who you are. Hear me. Your anxiety is a signal, not a sentence. It's not proof you're faithless. It's proof you've been using human strength to solve a spiritual issue. You're lifting a weight you were never assigned to carry. That pressure on your chest, that is the burden of being your own provider. You've been treating your inbox like an altar and your resume like scripture. You've prayed, yes, but then you picked the weight back up with your next frantic refresh. You've tried to outrun lack with more hustle while ignoring the instruction that would disarm it. I am not condemning your effort. I am correcting your direction. I am not shaming your grind. I am shifting your grip. Effort is not your enemy. Unassigned effort is. The fatigue you feel is evidence. You have been wearing a yoke I did not place on you. Breathe. Unclench your jaw. You are not a beggar in my economy. You are my heir. Lay the weight down where it belongs. Say it with me, even quietly, here in the middle of your mess. My worth is not a number. My source is not a paycheck. I am aligning, not panicking. And as you turn, hear this again. There is no condemnation in this correction, only a father easing your shoulders and pointing your feet. Listen, I am teaching you my economy because the one you've been serving is bankrupt of peace. Your job isn't your source. He is. A paycheck is a pipe, not a well. A salary is a stream, not the spring. When you stop worshiping the channel, you can finally trust the source. Heaven is not a business, it's a kingdom, and in my kingdom, provision flows by covenant, not by panic. I am not telling you to become lazy. I am telling you to become aligned, because heaven doesn't fund anxiety, it funds obedience. Earthly logic says, chase faster, apply more, force the door. Kingdom logic says, stand in identity, receive instruction, and watch provision follow alignment. Earth calculates by hours and headlines. Heaven calculates by obedience and inheritance. Earth asks, who will hire me? Heaven asks, will you hear me? Sons don't live by the mood of managers. They live by the word of their father. Kings don't chase, they command. You are not a beggar in my economy. You are my heir. Act like it, think like it, speak like it. Hear me. When I close a door, I am not punishing you. I am protecting you. When I reroute you, I am not rejecting you. I am rescuing you from assignments that would pay you in stress and steal your song. Some doors are glossy traps, high pay, low peace. Some offers are leaky pipes, steady checks, constant drain. I will not let you build a life on a pipe I know is about to crack. I will not let you tether destiny to a faucet someone else can shut. I am not delaying you. I am diverting you to the path where your calling and your cash flow agree. Understand my logistics. I have channels you have not considered. I am the source, so I can route resources through roads your resume cannot predict. Back pay that suddenly surfaces, a contract that finds you through a friend of a friend, an idea in your sleep that becomes an income stream by morning, debt canceled, refunds released, a stranger's generosity, a client who's been searching for exactly what I told you to build. I once fed prophets with birds and families with a handful of flour. Do not limit me to bi-weekly deposits. I am not asking you to suspend cents. I'm asking you to expand it to include my ways. That random email, that unexpected call, those are not accidents. That's logistics. That's not luck. That's law in my kingdom. Alignment attracts. So stop bowing to the pipeline and start listening to the planner. Your effort will finally have evidence when your energy is pointed where I'm pointing. Do what I tell you and the money will come. Not because you manipulated a market, but because you obeyed the king. Tonight, I want you to seal this shift publicly. Type it and say it. My job is not my source. God is. Write it like you're changing banks. Declare it like you're ending a toxic contract. Move your trust account. Transfer your hope. As you do, watch your heart grow quiet and your spirit grow bold, because the fountain does not run dry and the flow is already moving toward you. Hear me. I am not against your effort. I am against your exhaustion that comes from effort I did not assign. Hustle is fear in running shoes. Obedience is faith with direction. Hustle moves because silence feels unsafe. Obedience moves because my word has spoken. Hustle spends energy to quiet panic. Obedience invests energy to fulfill purpose. One is fueled by anxiety, the other by alignment. And I am saying it to you again so you stop pretending you didn't hear me. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety. It funds obedience. This is why you can send 10 perfect applications and return empty, while one simple instruction opens what all that striving could not. One instruction can outrun 10 applications, not because effort is evil, but because unassigned effort drains what I intended to deploy. You've been sprinting on a treadmill, sweat, speed, nowhere. Obedience steps on a mapped road, steady, sure arrival. Stop measuring progress by how tired you are. Tired is not a testimony. Obedience is. I shift strategies because money in my kingdom is braided to purpose. I may tell you to pause for 3 days and learn the one skill that unlocks the door I chose. I may tell you to rest because your mind has become too noisy to hear the niche I am highlighting. I may tell you to reconcile with the person you offended because the contract you're praying for is attached to a relationship you broke. I may tell you to sow, not to bribe me, but to break the clutch of fear and set a harvest in motion. I may tell you to build the simple thing I whispered months ago, the landing page, the prototype, the proposal, the follow-up. I may tell you to clean your house, organize your books, finish the undone course, unsubscribe from the drain that leaks your focus. Do not despise small instructions. They are keys disguised as chores. Beware counterfeit movement. Busyness is a blanket you pull over your ears so you don't have to listen. Applying everywhere so you don't have to ask me anywhere is avoidance dressed as diligence. You refresh because it feels like control. You fill calendars so you won't feel conviction. You call it momentum. I call it noise. This is the moment you trade pace for path. Slow down to hear, then move where I point with speed and clarity. When obedience is activated, provision accelerates. Watch how quickly roots appear when you stop worshiping the root. That random introduction, the invoice finally paid, the back pay uncovered, the client who just stumbled on your work, the idea at 3 a.m. that solves a problem someone is already funded to buy. These are not surprises. They are the physics of my kingdom. Alignment produces attraction. Effort finally gets evidence when it is placed where I place you. Put your hand on your heart and say it out loud. I trade hustle for obedience. My strength is directed, not drained. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety, it funds obedience. Now listen for my next instruction and then do it, because I am not trying to make you busy. I am making you effective. Hear me. When I say money will locate you, I am not speaking of magic. I am speaking of order. Alignment produces attraction in my kingdom. When you obey, favor finds you. Phones ring without your begging. Opportunities call your name that you never cold-pitched. Ideas surface at hours you didn't schedule. People remember you from rooms you forgot. Resources reroute, like rivers finding the lowest, most yielded ground. Location in the spirit is not about geography, it's about posture. When you stand where I placed you, in identity, in assignment, in declaration, you become discoverable by everything I already sent. You call it coincidence, I call it coordination. You say, the algorithm finally pushed my post. I say, it wasn't an algorithm, it was an appointment. I used a feed to feed you. I used a random email to reroute you. I used a closed door to stop you at the intersection where my yes would meet you. The comment from a stranger that leads to a client. The old co-worker who just thought of you and forwards your name. The scholarship link that appears the morning you planned to give up. The bank's error that releases a refund right as rent is due. These are not surprises to me, they are signatures. That's not luck, that's law. Alignment attracts what hustle chases and loses. This is why I keep talking to your identity. Beggars shake cups, heirs sign decrees. Kings don't chase, they command. Shift your posture, drop the crouch of panic and stand in covenant. Speak like you belong in the promises I gave you. Not arrogance, authority, not entitlement, inheritance. Say what I say, then do what I say, and watch what belongs to your assignment move toward your voice. Your mouth sets the coordinates, your obedience turns on the beacon. Angels do not respond to anxiety. They respond to my word spoken in faith. Words create worlds, and obedience furnishes them. Starting tonight, something shifts. Not hype, physics. You have changed locations in the spirit. Your address is no longer Panic Street, Hustle City. It is Obedience Lane, Kingdom Order. From that place, momentum begins. First as a nudge, then as a knock, then as a flow. It might look like a small deposit you forgot was owed. It might be a contract you thought you lost that returns with better terms. It might be debt relief, a new client, a scholarship award, a tax refund, a reimbursement, a royalty, a partnership, a relationship connection that opens a door without an interview. Expect movement, but do not script me. Leave room for my logistics. And here the boundaries. I am not promising a lottery. I am promising location. Provision comes by many channels because I am the source. Sometimes I locate you with an instruction before I locate you with an invoice. Call her back. Finish the profile, clean the portfolio, post the offer, send the follow-up, take the course, forgive the debt, sow the seed. I am setting the magnet in you so what I ordained can find you without you violating your peace to chase it. Say it now and seal it publicly where you are. I am not a beggar in this economy. I am his heir. I stop chasing. I stand in alignment. And from this place, what is mine is finding me. Look at the lake with me. Professional fishermen, calloused hands, expert timing, correct equipment, maximum effort, minimum results. Peter has nothing to show for a whole night of hustle. And then I step into his ordinary boat and speak one sentence that offends experience. Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. Hear Peter's tension. Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, it is written, at your word I will let down the nets. Luke 5:5. Not at my resume, not at my routine. At my word, he obeys. Same lake, same boat, same net, different side of obedience. And the net that mocked him an hour ago begins to break with abundance. Revelation beat repetition. One word outran a night of labor. The breakthrough was on the other side of one God-directed adjustment. This is the pattern I am pressing into your spirit. You've been casting where I am not speaking and calling the lake empty when the issue isn't the water, it's the word. Stop cursing the pond and start listening for placement. I can fill nets in daylight that refused you in darkness if you will let my voice pick the spot. one adjustment, a timing shift, a side of the boat you ignored, a conversation you avoided, a price you were afraid to set, a product you kept postponing. The change is surgical, not frantic. Obedience, not overdrive. Do you need more proof? It is written, I have commanded the ravens to feed you there. 1 Kings 17:4. Not anywhere, there. Elijah is sustained without payroll because he is positioned by a word. Birds become couriers when a prophet stands in the assigned coordinates. Heaven's logistics honor alignment. It is written, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. Exodus 16:4. Not a warehouse, not a boss. A word, daily manna, time to trust. Spoiling if hoarded, perfect if obeyed. And again, it is written of the widow, borrow vessels, not a few. 2 Kings 4:3. Shut the door, pour the little you have, and watch shortage bow to instruction. Oil multiplies to match the obedience, not the panic. These are not museum stories, they are maps. You've been staying up all night tossing applications like nets into waters I did not choose, then calling it diligence while ignoring my direction. Hear me. One instruction can outproduce 10 applications. One there can feed you more than 100 anywheres. Your next is not far, it is precise. My word is not a quote to admire, it's a code to activate. When you say, it is written, you are not being poetic, you are entering a covenant command. Your mouth sets the coordinates, your obedience moves you into range. So say it now and mean it. Nevertheless, at your word, I will cast where you speak, I will go where you point, I will price as you instruct, I will pause if you say wait, I will knock where you nudge, and watch. The nets that stayed empty under hustle will strain under heaven's order. That's not luck, that's law. The breakthrough you seek is waiting on one God-directed adjustment. Discernment now. I am putting language to what your spirit has been whispering. I am not rejecting you. I am redirecting you. Resistance can be mercy when I am keeping you from a door that would drain your destiny. Hear me and mark these signs because you've been calling punishment what is actually protection. Sign 1. Unnatural resistance. Every door you approach demands begging, shrinking, or bending your peace to gain entry. You find yourself rehearsing half-truths to sound fit, laughing at jokes that insult your values, offering discounts that dishonor your craft, tolerating timelines that choke your family, your shoulders tense just reading the email. That is not normal friction. That is a flashing red light. My peace is the umpire of your steps. If the only way in is to degrade who you are, it is not your door. Kings don't chase, they command. Heirs don't grovel to be fed, they receive by covenant. Sign 2. Repeated closed loops. You upgrade your resume, polish your portfolio, expand your network, and still arrive at the same empty outcome. New method, same wall. New contact, same silence. New interview, same, we've decided to go in a different direction. Stop calling it bad luck, call it guidance. I am allowing the loop to reveal the wrong assignment. You're trying to fish an empty side of the boat, and I love you too much to let a prettier net convince you to stay there. Sign 3. The inner check. On paper it's smart, the salary shines, the title impresses, but the moment you move toward it, your spirit gets noisy. Sleep thins, prayer feels metal, scripture won't confirm, and under the applause in your head is a quiet no you keep muting. That no is not fear, it's me. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety, it funds obedience. When peace evacuates, pay attention. I am not asking you to make sense to men. I am asking you to make alignment to me. Sign 4. Confirmed redirections. I am kind. I repeat myself. A verse you accidentally scroll. To repeats the phrase you heard in your heart. A mentor cautions you without knowing details. A door jams mid-process for reasons no one can explain. The sermon you didn't plan to hear says, "Stop forcing what I'm not blessing. I confirm by scripture, by counsel, by circumstance, not to embarrass you, but to escort you." Sign 5. The burden lifts when you let go. The instant you release the chase, withdraw the application you were forcing, decline the offer that cost your peace, stop composing the convincing email, you feel it. Air in your lungs, clarity in your mind, the return of quiet joy. That relief is not laziness, it's prophecy. My yoke is easy, and when you step back into your lane, the weight shifts off your chest onto my shoulders. These signs are not to shame you, they are to position you. I am moving you out of panic traffic and into kingdom flow, so what I sent can actually locate you. Say it now and seal it. Resistance is mercy. I choose redirection over rejection. I align, and what is mine finds me. Now hear the practice, because I am keeping you in the flow. Your next provision responds faster to alignment than it ever did to panic. So here is what you do not do in this season. Do not apply from panic. Do not chase out of fear. Do not make decisions while spiraling, and do not speak lack as identity. If your chest is tight and your thoughts are sprinting, close the laptop. A fearful just following up email plants a harvest of more fear. No more midnight applications written with trembling hands and a shrinking soul. No more saying, "I'm broke," like a surname. No more narrating your future with the language of shortage. Stop auditioning for what I did not assign, and stop confessing what I did not say. Now, here is what you do. Seek instruction first. Prayer before resumes. Peace before pressure. Clarity before commitment. Ask me, what is my there today? Then wait long enough to hear. Let peace be the umpire. If peace does not approve, you do not move. If I whisper one name, one email, one platform, one project, obey precisely. One instruction can outrun 10 applications. When anxiety surges, give it 24 hours of silence with me before you hit send. You are not late, you are led. Do steward what is in your hand. Order is a magnet in my kingdom. Budget as worship, not as worry. Clean up the small debts you've been avoiding. Close the subscriptions that leak peace. Organize the invoices, label the folders, finish the profile, polish the portfolio. Sharpen the skill you keep postponing. Do the next faithful, simple task, not to perform for men, but to prepare a container for what I am sending. Heaven's flow favors prepared vessels. Oil multiplies where jars wait. Do so wisely. When I nudge, give time, service, generosity to the person or place I highlight, not to prove something, but to participate in my circulation. So, to break fear's grip and to agree with my law of seed and harvest. A phone call you make to serve another may open the door you've been praying to enter. Obedience, not performance, turns seeds into supply. Guard your mouth like a vault. Words create worlds. Replace "I can't afford it" with "I will steward what I have, and heaven supplies what I lack." Replace "I'm broke" with "I am funded by covenant." Replace "nothing works for me" with "all things are working together for my good." Angels do not move on sarcasm or self-hatred, they move on my word. Your mouth is the steering wheel of your miracle. Turn it toward abundance. Now set the cadence. For the next 3 days, morning and night, stand up, hand on your heart, and declare out loud, "My job is not my source. God is. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The young lions lack and suffer hunger, but I who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Nevertheless, at your word, I move." Heaven doesn't fund anxiety. It funds obedience. Money is locating me by covenant coordinates, not by panic. Write it and say it to seal it. Alignment over panic at your word. Watch what happens when your language and your steps agree. Flow finds you faster than fear ever did. For the next 3 days, morning and night, do exactly this. This is not superstition. This is covenant consistency. I am setting a cadence in you that replaces worry with authority and tunes your spirit to my supply chain. Declaration does not replace work. It replaces worry with authority and then directs your work with precision. Find a quiet place. Stand up. Put one hand over your chest and the other open as if to receive. Breathe in slowly, counting to 5, and let your shoulders drop as you exhale. Picture peace entering your home like warm light through every doorway. See anxiety pack its bags and leave. Imagine your table set, invoices stamped paid, and ideas arriving like guests you actually want to host, not fantasy, agreement. Now speak slowly with authority, not begging, decreeing. Your mouth is the steering wheel of your miracle. Turn it toward abundance. Say, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." It is written, "I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor their children begging bread." It is written, "Those who seek the Lord lack no good thing." It is written, "Wealth and riches are in the house of the righteous, and his righteousness endures." It is written, "He daily loads me with benefits." Now seal the identity. My job is not my source. God is. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety. It funds obedience. Money is locating me by covenant coordinates as I obey. Pause. Breathe again. Ask, "Father, what single instruction do you have for me today?" Then listen for one name, one task, one follow-up, one finish line you've avoided. Write it down and do it after you declare. This is how decree becomes direction. Words create worlds. Obedience furnishes them. Repeat this morning and night for 3 consecutive days. Keep it simple. Keep it steady. Consistency over volume. If your mind wanders, bring it back with "nevertheless." At your word, I move. You are not shouting to be heard. You are aligning to be found. Make a public covenant now. Type it and say it. Money will locate me as I obey. My job is not my source. God is. When you write it, you mark the shift in ink. When you say it, you mark the shift in spirit. You are moving from panic to order, from hunting to hosting. As you walk these 3 days, expect locating signals. Watch for the ring of the phone you stopped expecting. The email with language like, "We found your profile. We'd like to move forward. Approved, credited, refund issued, contract ready." The message from an old contact who just thought of you. An idea at an odd hour that solves a funded problem. Unusual favor with timing you could not engineer. Reconnections you did not initiate. Do not call it random. Call it response. When a signal appears, respond in obedience. Answer promptly. Price with integrity. Finish what I highlighted. Sow where I nudge. Rest when I say pause. Keep your posture calm, clear, covenantal. Declaration sets the magnet. Obedience turns on the beacon. Over these 3 days, you will feel your heart quiet and your steps clarify. That is the sound of heaven's economy finding your address. Listen. This is the moment we seal it. Stop chasing. Stop begging. Stop forcing. Start aligning. Start listening. Start declaring. This message isn't for everyone. It's for you. Tonight, I interrupt the reflex to sprint toward any door that moves, and I install in you the discipline of staying where my word places you, not a pause of apathy, a posture of authority. Your job isn't your source. I am. A job is a channel, not the fountain. Heaven is not a business, it's a kingdom. I won't let you worship the pipe I use. I am the well. Hear me, heir. You are not a beggar in my economy. You are my inheritance bearer. Sons don't audition for bread. They sit at the table. Kings don't chase. They command. Provision for you is covenant, not coincidence. That random ring is logistics. That accidental email is alignment. That refund, that back pay, that reconnection, that contract you didn't cold pitch, those are signatures of a source who already wrote your supply into the story. And still, I anchor it to this. Heaven doesn't fund anxiety. It funds obedience. Favor follows order. Attraction follows alignment. So I speak inevitability over you, and I bind it to responsibility. Your story of lack ends tonight, and your story of led provision begins, because you will obey. Not hype, law. As you stand in identity, as you declare what I have written, as you act on the one instruction per day I highlight, you become locatable. Phones will ring, you will answer with integrity. Doors will open, you will step through with peace. Ideas will come, you will build what I say, not everything fear suggests. Tonight is not the night you find money. Tonight is the night money begins to find you. Now lift your voice and agree. Say, I renounce fear. I break partnership with panic, scarcity, and slave mind thinking. I receive the spirit of adoption, the identity of heir, not beggar. I forgive myself for hustle that ignored your voice, and I forgive those who mocked my trust. I welcome your peace into my mind, my home, my calendar. I call in provision by covenant coordinates, resources, clients, refunds, approvals, scholarships, paid invoices, found favor, timely ideas. I bless the work of my hands. I bless the clarity of my mind. I bless the diligence of my steps. The Lord establishes the work of my hands. Nevertheless, at your word I move. Amen. Seal it publicly where you are. Type it and say it. My job is not my source. God is. Money will locate me as I obey. Do not vanish after one surge of faith. Return here tomorrow and keep this alignment. Subscribe and stay in the cadence because your spirit needs truth consistently the way your body needs breath. We are building a rhythm that keeps you in flow, not in flares. This is not an algorithm, it's an appointment. And as you keep the appointments you need will keep you. I decree over you. Peace settles, instruction clarifies, provision accelerates, and wasteful striving ends. Your address in the Spirit has changed, and all that belongs to your assignment is now in motion toward you. Your season of being found starts tonight.